Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be on boot care. So I got these Belleville boots back sometime around, I don't know, maybe 2017, could have been 2016. Not 100% sure when I got them. And I don't wear them very often. Reason being is they are waterproof boots, and if you ever wore waterproof boots, they're not really waterproof. Yeah, they keep the water from the mud puddles from getting in there, but your feet sweat so much that you might as well be getting the water from the mud puddles in there. So this is kind of a boot that I only use for winter or colder weather. It's not something that I would be wearing during the summer for sure. This is a boot from Belleville. Belleville is a pretty well-known boot manufacturer. They make boots for the Department of Defense. This particular boot, interestingly enough, was the only boot at that time that I could find that would fit me. Now, I'm Bigfoot. Literally Bigfoot. I have a size 16 foot, so when it comes to footwear, there's usually not a whole lot of options for me, and especially when it comes to boots like this. They just don't have a lot of boots in that size. I don't guess that there's a bunch of military folks with size 16 feet. Usually a bunch of smaller footed people. Now earlier, I took these boots and I put them in the sink and I washed them with some Dawn soap. I got them out here in the sun, got them dried off pretty well. I noticed that I missed some spots with some dirt. Went back in there, did some more scrubbing, brought them back out here. Now they're looking pretty good. Now I'm just going over with a dry brush and knocking some stuff loose. Don't know if you can see it in the camera very well, but there was a lot of gunner hair right there, and there's still some gunner hair. Gunner's hair is very invasive. Gunner being my dog, his hair gets everywhere. I would say that even after he dies, probably 50 years after he dies, I'm still going to be finding his hair in the most random places. Like, it just never goes away. So what I'm doing right now is just taking the dry brush, going over the boot, knocking stuff loose that didn't get knocked loose in the sink. I don't know if there's a recommended interval for taking care of your boots, doing this kind of preventative maintenance / preserving. Typically, whenever my boots would get muddy is whenever I'd clean them. But seeing as how there's fewer options out there for me, I do try to take care of the good things, and these are good things, and this is like close to a $300 pair of boots. They weren't cheap by any means. Got most of the dirt and everything pretty well off. I can still see some looks like some stuff that didn't get knocked off when I did the wet rub on it. More gunner hair. So this looks about as clean as I'm going to get it. Now I got a couple things here with me. I've got some boot oil, because there is some leather components to this, and I got this Kelly's black shoe cream. So essentially what I'll do with the boot oil, so I'll just get my rag here, and I'll go up here into the tongue area I'm gonna coat this down, give it a good little layer. And it'd probably be easier to do a few drops down and through there, so it's easier to smear around. It's probably way too much, but whatever is excess will be on the rag and I can use it to wipe elsewhere. So this boot oil preserves the leather and it restores the leather. So if you came across, like say I left these boots out in the garage or up in the attic for 20 years or something like that, and the leather was looking pretty bad, I could take this oil and apply it and restore it to a little bit. But really what I'm using it for is preserving the leather, keeping it from aging. Notice I'm wearing gloves. Anytime you're dealing with oils and shoe cream, in my opinion, it's just better to wear gloves. Makes it a whole lot easier as far as cleanup goes. All you do is take the gloves off and you don't have a bunch of oil residue on your fingers and a bunch of staining on your fingers from the shoe shine stuff, what have you. Get up here on my collar. Dog hair is just everywhere. Yeah. Now I've had some of those boot cleaning kits over the years. I've had a couple of them. I don't know what I've done with them. It's one of the problems that I've run into with accumulating things. Kind of forget where I put it at. I guess that's a first world hoarding problem. You have so much junk you don't know where you got all your junk put at. Now, the front of the boots here, I don't know what I've done to these to cause this. I wish there was like a cool story behind it, but I really have no idea what I was doing to get all these little dents in the boot. If there was some type of product that I could get to kind of fix this, I would get it, but I don't know enough about footwear to know what I need or if anything like that exists. But you can just kind of see where the upper layer is just kind of been chipped at in a couple places. Now, before I start rubbing this in, it may be extremely difficult to see on camera. You may not be able to notice very easily, but you can kind of notice the leather and its slight discoloration here. I guess from where I've had it sitting for so long. I don't even think I wore them any this winter. So they've probably been sitting for the better part of a year. Haven't been used. I was moving some stuff around, came across them, and I was like, man, I need to do some care on these. They did have a little bit of mud on them from the last time I wore them. Not a whole lot, just a little bit right down in there, basically on the lower heel spot, and had some splatter up here on the ankle part. But that wasn't what prompted me to want to do this. Just looking at the leather and everything and seeing it kind of taking on a dried on appearance made me want to come out here and put some oil on it and get them looking good. This particular model, I had looked on Belleville's website right before I came out here to do this, and this particular model doesn't appear to be offered anymore. That or it's just not being offered at this time. They had one other boot on there that was size 16. I'm watching my dog. He's having fun with the stick, being goofy. Oopsie daisy. Got her. Gunner's having a disagreement with the neighbor mowing their lawn, I believe. That or he saw a squirrel. Who knows what these dogs bark at? They could just be barking to hear their own bark. So, got that one wiped down. I had this one wiped down and I set it off to the side. Let the oil soak in pretty well. Looks like it soaked in pretty good. So now my next part, and seal this back up. And I keep these in Ziploc baggies. That way if something starts leaking, hopefully it just stays contained with inside the bag. And to prevent me from losing any more boot cleaning kits, I've got the box that these boots came in, which is what I store them in. So I'll just keep this in there with it, that way I don't lose it. So I've left this sitting out in the sun. It's softened up a little bit. Watch it go on. There. So you just take this shoe cream stuff and you just dab it on. Smells pretty good. So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just adding a coat of this on here. I'll get to the polishing process here in a little bit. Kind of just want to a little bit spread out on there, give you something to work with. Okay, so I got that on there. Now, you just kind of go back and forth. I might have to go off camera here a little bit, get this on the edge so I can get my shine on. So just going and doing that back and forth motion, and it helps when you have it on the ledge, that way your hand don't keep hitting that. But I bring it to the edge of the table and I just keep going back and forth, and you can see where I've gone back and forth with it a whole lot and how much different it looks here versus over here. So the trick is to get a layer of this cream down, spread it all out evenly, and then just go back and do a back and forth motion to bring a shine about on it. That way it looks pretty nice and presentable. Now I don't go all crazy with shining boots. I don't really care for a spit shine boot or anything like that. but I will try to get it to where it looks pretty presentable. Then I'll go along the rest of the boot. I'll do some back and forth on it. Get it to give it a polished appearance. If not so much a polished appearance, then at least a better appearance than what it had. Maybe able to tell the difference in here versus here. And you'll just do that all the way around the boot until it's all nice looking. And of course relace it, and then these boots I'm going to be putting back into its box and putting it back on the shelf. That way when the weather starts changing again, gets a little bit cooler, I can start wearing these boots more. I can even wear these during the summer. I just prefer not to, because they are, like I said earlier, they're waterproof boots. They got Gore-Tex in them, so they make my feet sweat a whole lot, thus not really making them dry inside, which is what their intent was with being a waterproof boot, keep your feet dry. I have another pair of boots that I'll wear that are kind of a mesh design in them, and allows for better ventilation. I find myself wearing those a whole lot more, but when it comes to winter time, especially if there's going to be a lot of snow and stuff like that, these are going to be my go-to boots, because they're a better quality for that type of environment. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down there in the comment section. Send me a message if you want. If you like this, give me a share and a like. Head on over to the Facebook page and do the same over there. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.